Hot 97, hanging out with Erica, Mena. Hi, honey.
What's up?
How are you?
Good. I'm good.
You look great.
I'm happy to see you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here,
yeah,
man.
this is you deserve this and like so much more. So congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's a long time coming and we're here.
And I've seen your come up, so you worked very
Thank you.
hard, so.
Means so much to me.
Respect.
And you know what? When you hear that from another woman, it feels that much better.
No, you always have to give credit what it's doing. I'm a firm believer in that, despite what everybody thinks.
So, Love and Hip Hop, you're done. This is it.
Yeah.
You seem really relieved.
I am. It's kind of hard, and I've been doing it for 4 years now.
Right.
So I'm relieved now, just because, regardless of what anybody thinks, this is my time to kind of really just not have to worry about who's gonna try to you know what I mean, target me, or if I'm gonna have to fight, and those are the positions you're put in throughout, this scenario. So it's a relief, yeah.
A lot of people think it's because of your relationship, your fiancé. Now, how do you refer to him? Like, so if I know him as Bow Wow, right? Or do you no, it's Shaq?
My mom calls him Moss. My whole family is like Moss.
Okay.
Believe it or not, he has this thing. I just call him Papa. I just love it. It fits him perfectly.
Is he the reason why?
No, in fact, he kind of plays the outside of it.
Right.
Because he knows that this world is definitely different from the world he's, come from. And it's different type of entertainment.
Right.
Reality television, you get judged so harshly off of one mistake that you naturally make on television. Right. And it's not until next week that you do something that they either love you or hate you. Right. So it's a constant rotation where when you're a performer or an actor, people just, they have no choice but to ride with you the whole way, because there's nothing that distracts them from what the real goal is, you know? But it's not him. In fact, he doesn't even watch it or pay mind to it at all. So, and just because I think I'm starting to realize that people are actually more offended kind of about me being married. I don't think people wanted me to kind of have this final chapter where it's so good, that they might not like my actions or the things that I have said last Monday. Yeah. So that's kind of their resort,
of course,
to blame,
And you know what? Because I was watching the reunion and you were saying that, no, you never cheated on Sin with him.
No.
Because that was the big thing.
Yeah. Everybody thought that for whatever reason. And that was just because of, as soon as we started shooting, she had all these issues that, were kind of being confided to the producers. So when the cameras weren't rolling, I had no idea she had issues with me being in a strip club or, things of that nature. It wasn't until it played out that I was like, oh my God, this whole time she's been running to the producers about the issues we've had. And so when we were personally just off camera, she never once mentioned, having an issue with strip clubs or feeling that, I was with Bao. But it's kind of funny how that works, because she was actually the one that was with somebody the whole time.
And you know this for sure.
He was at the 21st birthday party I threw.
But they were saying that they were just friends.
Of course. That's the easy scapegoat, right?
Yeah. But look, I've heard that line from everybody. Oh, we're just friends. We're just friends.
Yeah. No, but the real deal is that me and Bao have been just friends. It's documented.
Yeah.
It's clearly documented. And it's so funny because it wasn't until I was completely done with her that me and him even started hanging out as much as we did. And we were kind of hanging out because we're like, we're single, you single, I'm single, come on. We were more on some homeboy, let's touch the town, strip clubs in Vegas and this and that. And before you knew it, it was like, wait a minute, we have so much in common and we know so much about each other.
Who made the move? Who expressed that emotion first?
It was kind of a mutual thing.
Okay.
Because we were I was really on some, I don't want to date anybody.
Right.
And he was the same way. So we were kind of using each other as confidence.
Who said I love you first?
I think it was me.
Okay.
And then as soon as I said it, it was kind of in what way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the clarifying. And I'm like, no, it's more,
Yeah. Do you regret at all not being on the same set with everybody for the reunion?
No. I think I've done it for 3 years in a row. And it's so funny.
What made you decide not to be there with everyone?
I didn't even want to do it at all.
Okay. Were you just done? Were you just I'm done?
I did it because what I had to say, I knew America wasn't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret what I said about Chrissy.
Mm-hmm.
What I regret is that people are assuming when I made the comments she couldn't have kids to save her life, that people are taking that as a general to all women who can't have kids. And I feel bad about that, because one thing about me when it comes to being a woman and having a mom, I'm a mother, you know. When I said that was me out of anger, me being a mother. There's several scenes throughout the season that she mentioned my son that got edited out.
Right.
So when it comes to talking about my offspring, you know, that's something that it will bring the ugly, vicious person out
of anyone.
And it kind of sucks, because at the end, after I said that, I was like, you know, she talked about my kid, and I explained that, and of course that was cut out. So that's the only part I regret, is that I don't want people to think that I was throwing a dagger as harshly as that to all the women. It was really just to her. Yeah. Because it's like, you're crying to America you can't have kids, but yet you're here talking about mine. If there's anything I have to say directly to anyone in America who found it extremely offensive when I mentioned something about this woman not being able to have kids, it was just me retaliating against this woman, defaming my character on top of talking about my child. It was something that was directly towards her, and if I offended anybody else outside of her, I truly, truly owe you an apology, and I just want to say I'm sorry.
And, you know, some people are like, oh, she's stopping New York, but she might do Love and Hip Hop Hollywood now because she's moving. You're just done with the whole thing.
Nah. I think it was real clear to me in the middle of shooting this past season. That's why you kind of saw me die out. And this is way before even Bow or my engagement was announced. There were people specifically put on the cast this season because they came into the casting claiming they had beef with me. And it's okay to have beef with someone, but it's not okay to make up this fictitious and malicious rumor that could ultimately, you know, defame their character. Yeah. You know, Chrissy came onto this season trying to ruin my life with a lie. Yeah. When I can completely ruin her life with the truth. Yeah. You know? So when I shot even the first scene where she comes out, it's like, bitch. I acknowledged her. Like, there's no, hey, what's up? Like, she's a friend of a friend through the past. It's an associate kind of thing. Have we ever been friends? No. Yeah. Do we ever hang out like willingly? No. If we're in the club at Griffin or this, that, you know how it works. You know what people, hey, what's up? Especially someone like Chrissy who's been a stripper, you know, all her life. You know of this woman. She's been everywhere. She's like the guy in the Yankee hat that's in every single club.
Oh my gosh, no.
So it is what it is. But it's like, I didn't care about what she said about me because I knew it wasn't true. Yeah. What I cared about is that a lot of my audience, who is my fan base, who is now I consider a family because they've been riding with me from this drum, that they start to believe it. Yeah. Because every single episode she's on, if she's not talking to Rich about me, she's talking about Sin. So it's like, I took a minute to step back and I was just like, wait a minute, something's not right here. I'm cool with being a target. I'm built for that, you know? And I'm cool with people not liking me. It's evident. People, you know, kind of go up and down with how they feel about me through the 4 years I've been on television. I'm just not cool with the fact that I really have worked and bust my ass. It might not be the way that, you know, people may normally praise. Like, you know, I'm not the best singer, but I made 2 songs. Yeah. You know, I'm not the greatest video vixen, but I have the best roles in videos. You know, like, I've accomplished things. I wrote a book about my life, you know, and I'm not even 30 yet. Yeah. You know, there's so much things that I've done, even from my clothing line to now me launching my jewelry line. That's one thing the producers played themselves too with. You know, like, you're feeding America this bullshit made up story just so you could have somebody to, like, I guess, pair up with me. Yeah. You know, they thought they found somebody that meet my match, I guess you could say. Right. And that discouraged me because these are people that I've been working with for like 3 years. And it's like, you have no remorse for the fact that I've been busting my ass and going. Yes, I go against the grain because there's times I pull up on set and it just doesn't feel right in my gut. I know I'm being set up. So I'll speed off, you know, and I'll get a fine from VH1. But
have you been fined?
Yeah. Because I just won't do certain things. You know, I just go with my gut.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like who you are as a person and your livelihood and all that shit doesn't get respected.
Yeah.
The only person I feel like they've respected throughout the whole cast and their livelihood and they give consideration to is Yandy. And that's why Yandy's looked at as like this flawless person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's worse than all of us in the sense of like no one's perfect.
Right.
But yet her storylines always are, no matter how bad life is.
Why do you think it is?
I mean, it's all about who you know.
How did you feel and how did you take it when obviously, you know, Bao said whatever he said about Empire when people were tweeting him? And I know that you had voiced certain things on Twitter. I'm sure that wasn't easy on you.
I knew what I was getting into coming into this. I feel like because we are from two spectrums and the fact that we're together, it doesn't matter what he says, what I say. They're going to always, oh, you're dating Bow Wow. Oh, because you're dating Erica. It's just something for them to kind of, something to point at, you know? And I definitely know that it makes a lot of people uncomfortable that we're together.
Mm-hmm. So you're not married yet?
Not yet, no.
Is there a date that you know? Okay. Are you public with it or not yet?
Yes and no. We've kind of said the month.
What month is it?
June. We haven't said the date exact yet just because it's being done at our pace, at our time.
I'm looking at the ring. That's the ring.
Yeah.
Now, I want the camera to zoom in a bit because it's been hurting my eye the entire time. And I know Kong over there has been like, girl, look at that ring. Yeah. Let's take a moment right now and let's just enjoy the way it's shining. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he did a great job. He really did.
Did you have any idea he was going to propose to you?
The only person that knew was him and my best friend, Albie.
And were you like, oh my gosh?
It was BET weekend.
Yeah.
So there was things that was strange going on, but I just kind of figured like he was getting ready for.
Oh, he was like, oh, I'll meet you later and stuff.
Little
okay.
things like that, and my friend was acting weird. And I think, and he told me, he's like, it's hard because I've never not once told you something.
Yeah.
Me and him are so close that, and he's seen the ring and everything. So I think it was, I felt it. Like
Did you
instinct.
cry? Oh
my God, like a baby. I did.
How was it? Like, tell me how he was when this happened.
The way he did it was pretty perfect. He kind of, we had like an open heart conversation, and, you know, he mentioned that he has witnessed, you know, my last 2 relationships, and, you know, he kind of didn't understand why I was in those positions, and he was just like, well, now I get it. You know, you picked people who didn't know your worth, and, you know, that kind of thing. And
wow.
Then when you got a man that's like, I don't want you to be a girlfrind.
Yeah.
That's it. Your days of being a girlfriend are over. And then, you know, next thing you know, he was like, should I do this the OG way or the new G way? And then he was like, you know what? F that. I'm going to do it the OG way. And got down on his hands and knees. And then before you know, mind you, he got on his hands and knees, but he put his hand on my shoulder. So I'm like, wait a minute. I was confused because his hand was on my shoulder. Sure enough, I look. And I see the ring, and I just instantly started crying. You know what made me really cry the most is that it was gold.
Yeah. Why is that?
I knew he paid attention. Like, all I wear is really gold. So it was that moment of like, because most guys get
they don't
gold
know.
or
They
platinum.
They don't pay attention to the small details.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, he knows I wear just gold. And it was just like, just perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I just wish the people had an opportunity to kind of see the things that they don't want them to see.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you mean by that?
Let's go all the way back to like when I first started dating Rich and stuff.
Yeah.
I had like this lipstick launch.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like kind of supposed to be one of my moments. So for me, in my mind, I was like, you know, after all this stuff that I've been through, you know, this is my moment. I just got a lipstick deal and let me do this party. And that happened, and we all know how that flourished. You know, it was hell. Then it was, you know, my song that was taken from me. And then it was my performance that was supposed to be like, regardless if you thought I could sing or if you thought I didn't sing, the fact is I did a song and I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to sing my butt off and dance in front of everybody on camera. Now, I've never been given props or whatever, and that's cool. But if you really look at all the things that I've been through throughout this whole season, it's kind of unfair. And I'm not trying to like, oh, you know, justify anything. I just want people to like really step back and look at the whole timeline.
Right.
You know, there's never been a moment on Love and Hip Hop where I've had that moment where people get the chance to know who I really am. And it wasn't until I got engaged that obviously they knew they weren't going to get Bow, that they requested for my son to come on in. And even that I was very hesitant. But the only reason why I agreed to that, because I feel like people need to understand, for even if it's just for that one scene, why I go as hard as I do. But if you really look at it, none of the highlights of the good things that I've done ever get aired. I took Sin to Panama, and it was really to go and give school supplies to a village of kids that didn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that was never documented. You know, I do a lot of things. You know, there's a dance school that I started helping with. I was a little harsh, but I really feel that person deserved that. You know,
and we're talking about Chrissy.
Okay, everyone who I spoke to.
Okay,
you know,
you feel everyone's deserved it.
The diamond thing, I was asked that.
Yeah,
and I didn't even want to give an answer. Yeah, you know, but it's reality television. It makes good drama. So my response was definitely necessary. It wasn't something I volunteered. I don't care about Diamond. I didn't even know of her storyline. I only knew that she referred to her kid as a dog. Right. And as a woman, you're like, what?
Some people thought you were upset with Diamond because of her and Rich's situation, and you're jealous. And
what, they dated?
Apparently they hooked up.
Oh, I thought she was dating Cisco. I didn't even know. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
But some people are like, she's jealous, and I was like, oh, I don't think she would care.
I think at this point they're gonna say whatever, just because I've rubbed people off the wrong way. Right. I've for once.
But you don't.
I've
care.
gone against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, I did the reunion, but I did it my way.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people that are upset about that, I guess.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you, obviously I'm the target. Like, why did you want me on stage that bad?
Yeah.
When I've done it for 3 years. I definitely would go on stage if I wasn't in the mind state that I'm at now. Before, the old Erica, you know, couldn't use her words. It was just like so wrath. Like, I'm angry.
Right.
Forget talking. You know, and that's why every single reunion I've almost gotten to, okay, let's just put it like this. One reunion, I sat there with Rich, his mom, Olivia, all attacking little old me. No one ever felt bad for me then. You know what I mean? So now everybody feeling bad for the escort lady who can't have kids, but talking about my kids. I just think people are, I don't know. People.
It's a no-win situation.
They contradict themselves, especially too, because I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had so many people follow me on Instagram and Twitter like I have since last Monday. And that kind of bothers me.
Why?
Everyone's backlashing that they hate what I said. But for some reason, I'm getting the most attention where people actually want to follow me. Before I went as harsh as I did, no one was following me off of the strength of, you know, this lady is through scenes after scenes trying to defame this woman's character from the first episode.
Right.
Had she not said that she had beef while I was an escort, would have not seen Chrissy probably towards the middle, like the other stripper girl that's on there. You don't see them towards the middle. Now has she, you know, she has beef, so she's throughout the whole, like, people have to look at it for what it is, right? You know?
So now I have a question. I saw the spread for Playboy.
Yay!
Look good.
Thanks.
Now, was Bao concerned at all?
No.
Were you concerned? Were you okay, I just want to make sure it's tasteful?
He actually picked out the looks.
Oh, you look good.
Yeah, he picked out the looks.
The boobs, the under boobs look nice.
Yeah, like
they're nice.
That gray set was one of his favorites.
It's nice.
And it was like granny panties with like a.
But it's the under boobs. It's the under boobs.
Like, Bao actually is one of those guys. It's like, you really, that turns you on? Like, he loves my stretch marks. I mean, it makes me embrace them now.
You're like, great.
I wear high waist. He hates when I wear pants like this.
Yeah. Why? Because
he's like, why are you not showing them?
Yeah.
He's like, those are like your baby marks. Yeah. Like, that's what's up, you know? And I'm just like, ooh, no.
Bow.
He loves that. And he loves big panties too.
Your body looks incredible.
Thank you.
Now, you know, there were some Twitter questions like, you know, are your boobs real?
No, they're not.
They're not. Mm-mm. Is your booty real?
Yeah.
No shots, no implants.
No. Definitely after I had King, my hip spread.
That's natural.
I think when I was dating Sin is when the booty kind of came.
Why? How?
You just eat a lot.
Just eat, guys, and you'll get a booty.
No, I'm serious. That was my relationship with Sin. Pick her up, feed her, drop her off. Like, you just eat all the time.
Have you guys talked, you and Sin?
No, but I wish her all the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you never took money from her?
Everything I got, I earned.
Hey, listen,
And that's
just gotta make sure.
And that's the thing. I feel like what made us go left is that she had people in her ear, like making her feel like certain things that were mine that she had asked, or some portion of it, because we were together at that time. But when it came time to trademark, you know, business, you got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Let's go half. You know, it costs like $4,000 to trademark and legitimize everything. Let's go half. If we're doing this business. She didn't want to do it. So I will move forward, and that's when Her became Her by Erica Mena.
Do you wish you guys can have closure and be in a better space? Or
no, it's not a wound. I just feel like her partnering up with the lady that stole money from my company, and she let that lady convince her that she was, you know, had some type of,
right,
I guess, what do you call that? She had some type of, rights to things that, you know, I established and put you know, when you start a business, you have to put money up and you have to trade. There's things that you have to do to legitimize these things. Actually, how I started Her was from when I did those "You Can't Handle My Mouth" t-shirts. And that was like my little campaign getting back at Peter when I hated him. Yeah. And I made a lot of money from that. So I then flipped it and started to make Her. So I never spent any money to make this, you know. Yeah. So I took the money that was that and I was like, yo, let's do the Her. Because at that time we referred to each other as Her. It's obvious, you know. Yeah. So it was like, you know, the fans were catching on, and it was something, when it came time to move forward, she didn't want no parts in it. And it was around the time we started shooting. And then I found out that lady that she did the scene with, you know, has stole money from me. So that hit the fan. And then when I closed Her out, you know, and that was like a big legal issue. Next thing you know, I'm hearing through the grapevine that she's shooting with this same exact lady. And it wasn't until I saw it on TV, I'm like, oh, wow. You know?
Must hurt.
You know where it hurt? Because when she wasn't shooting, Sin was calling me. Everything was fine. And then when we would do a scene together, she was angry. You know what I mean? And it didn't make sense. And all the time, all the issues she had, she confided to the producers about it. Yeah. You know? So she was able to kind of play the game right. You know? Everybody, you know, seems to have sympathy for her.
In this new chapter in your life, do you want more kids?
I do.
Have you and Bao talked about this?
Yeah.
When is this going to happen?
Right now. I want one right now.
Well, let's just wait till after June. You got to fit a dress.
Yeah, but you know what? It's cool because then the baby will be there.
There'll be more stretch marks and he'll be so happy.